We've learned the identity of the victim in a deadly shooting this weekend in Rogers. It happened early yesterday morning on South B Street on the east side of Rogers. Police say they received multiple calls about shots fired and arrived to find a man had been shot. We learned tonight that the victim was 41-year-old Andres Fonseca. He was rushed to a nearby hospital where he died from his injuries. No information has been released about the suspect in the case, but police say they believe that it is an isolated incident and there's no threat to the public. They're asking anyone with information to reach out to Rogers PD. It's no secret that being a caregiver of a loved one can be very expensive, especially those who live with dementia. There is a bill in the Arkansas House that would help alleviate some of that cost. 5 News anchor Darren Bobb tells us about the Caring for Caregivers Act and how it could help.
We benefit as a society from this unpaid labor that caregivers do because it keeps costs down, keeps family members out of the hospital, keeps family members from having to go into an assisted living or nursing facility.
State Rep Ashley Hudson's bill would offer tax credits to those who care for loved ones at home.
The tax credit is between $2,000 and $3,000, depending on whether or not the individual is caring for an elderly relative or a relative with dementia or veteran.
It's the caregiver for the family member with dementia that caught the attention of David Cook with the Arkansas Alzheimer's Association.
In 2023, 155,000 caregivers in Arkansas, mostly are unpaid, who provided over 270 million hours of unpaid care. And the value of that care is $4.48 billion in cost savings to the state.
In order for the caregiver to get the credit, they have to meet certain guidelines like making less than $50,000 a year. State would also require proof of expenditures, including making improvements to a home to allow the family member to live there and the purchase of medical equipment for that family member. Cook says it's simply the right thing to do.
If we invest in these services early, we can delay placement in long-term care. And we can support family caregivers so they can continue to do the important work they're doing by, again, saving taxpayer dollars by not placing loved ones and driving a Medicaid cost.
Caregivers are contributing quite a bit to our economy here in Arkansas, but more importantly to our society and our family structure. I want to make sure with this bill that we're doing anything we can to try to support them as well.
Covering news where you live, I'm Darren Bobb, 5 News.
This weekend marks 60 years since Bloody Sunday, the day in 1965 when hundreds of black protesters marching for their right to vote clashed with Alabama state troopers. People marked the occasion at the historic Edmund Pettus Bridge with a memorial march and parade in Selma. People in the Arkansas Capitol also marked the occasion. They held a march across Little Rock today, walking over the city's Broadway Bridge to remember what the civil rights pioneers did in 1965.
It means that we're taking a stand. We're doing this today to say, hey, we're here. We want you to hear us. This is not out of hate, but it's out of hope for our future.
Today's march ended in front of the steps of the Little Rock City Hall, where speakers shared words of encouragement and sang songs of justice with the crowd. Well, get your brackets ready. March Madness is on the horizon, which means sports betting here in Arkansas will likely see a spike in numbers. 5 News reporter Parker Abels met with one casino in the Natural State to hear their expectations.
March Madness is officially here, which means people across the state are gearing up for a month of the most exciting sports betting opportunities in sports. Scott Harden with the Arkansas Department of Finance and Administration thinks this could be Arkansas's biggest month on record.
So last year in 2024, March for the tournament, we had 50 million. I don't think it's crazy to think we could see a month with $70 million wagered, but just because of the growth that we've seen.
Neil Atkinson, the Senior Director of Sportsbook and Table Operations for Saracen Casino Resort, says it's already been a great start, and they credit their boost in revenue to the success of the Hogs.
We are seeing about a 35% increase year over year in the amount of bets that we've taken compared to last year. And we owe a whole lot of that to the Hogs looking like they're going to make the tournament this year. It is so many games spread out throughout the entire rest of the month that there is a lot of betting opportunities. And people really love to bet on March Madness games.
However, this year it's not just about basketball, but they're seeing a big increase on the diamond as well.
We've seen a huge increase in baseball betting. And with Arkansas being the #4 ranked team in baseball this year, we're seeing a lot of bets.
And during this busy March season, Hardin wants to remind you to make sure you're gambling legally here in Arkansas.
The only way to do it legally is through the state's 3 casinos. Either you go there physically or you go to one of their apps and do it.
Covering news where you live, Parker Abels, 5 News.
Volunteers came together today at Lake Fayetteville to make sure their city's bike fleet was tuned up and ready to go for the spring season. The tune-up event happens every year, with volunteers making sure the bicycles are good to go for another year of events and races.
As part of our mission, we love to see everybody on bikes, recreating outdoors. It's not just about preserving the trail and maintaining it, but making sure that everybody has access.
Ozark off-road cyclists organized today's event. They say they're always looking for new volunteers to help them with events throughout the year. Northwest Arkansas is known as an outdoor recreation hub, and with that in mind, the University of Arkansas's Greenhouse Outdoor Recreation Program has launched its 7th cohort of its Business Incubation Program. For 12 weeks, the Greenhouse Outdoor Recreation Program is supporting outdoor startup companies with workshop training, team mentoring, and product service development.
And this is where we help founders from idea to launch that have great outdoor recreation ideas in Northwest Arkansas or in our region.
Wendy Elstermeyer, a business owner of Jane Wick, previously went through the program and now helps fellow entrepreneurs. Elstermeyer says the program gave her great mentors and provided the business more access.
Just their depth of knowledge and breadth of knowledge, and their community and network and the things that they knew how to get done really helped accelerate things. But also we got all kinds of support from the university, including some non-diluted funds. So at Jane Wick, we designed women's gun range backpacks, and think Michael Kors meets the gun range.
The goal of the initiative? To continue making outdoor recreation accessible for everyone. Hillary Lex Trex is a part of this year's spring cohort, and so far, founder Hillary Lex says the program is helping her business tremendously.
Being surrounded by another community of entrepreneurs has been a huge benefit to me and just my creativity and my drive and my motivation. I think one of the big things that I really struggle with in my business today is just marketing overall. So the intern that they assigned to me is a marketing major, and also once she graduates, she's going to be doing her master's in marketing. So one of the tasks that I tasked her with was helping drive traffic to my website through Pinterest.
The program will officially end on April 8th. The cohort will celebrate with a demo night on April 15th at Meteor Guitar Gallery in Bentonville.